What's up, YouTube? Your girl Coriel is back for another reaction video. Now, if y'all have not heard of Pearl from the Just Pearly Things channel, Homegirl is, I don't know if she considers herself to be a relationship expert. I don't really know what kind of credentials she has. I do know that she spits a lot of statistics and, she does her research. Okay. I will give her that. But she has some super controversial conversations on her show. And today's clip that I'm about to share with y'all led me to ask the question: is sex a duty for women once you get married? Now, I'm just going to warn you, this language is not safe for work. Okay. So if you have your speakers on, if you don't have your headphones in, your earbuds in, your AirPods in, stop right now and come back later. Okay. This, I think, is a very extreme version of what people could possibly envision when it comes to married life. But let me just share with y'all this quick clip. And I want to get your thoughts, okay? I want to get your thoughts.
You are my bitch. So when you're my bitch, if I want to have sex, if I came home from a long day trying to provide for you, you're gonna open your legs and I'm gonna get smashing like what?
Okay. So again, pardon the language. Pardon the language. What he said, in case you didn't catch it, was he used the B word, but I'm going to substitute that for wife, because the rest of the conversation, if you were watching the entire episode, they were basically talking about what men actually want in a wife, what they value in marriage. And what was presented by the hosts of the podcast is that men expect for sex to be a duty once they get married, that they're not getting married to women who want to have sex sometimes. Like, that is a primary need for them, and they expect their wives to be able to fulfill that need, right? So he was very extreme, but he's basically saying that that's non-negotiable. If I am providing for you, I've been out at work all day long. I don't care what type of day you've had. I don't care what you feel like doing. If I come home and I'm ready to have sex, it's time to have sex. And so I have heard, from women who typically are like, were raised, in church, and they're very religious, or they at least have very religious upbringing. I've heard them say before that they were raised, to believe that sex is a duty, and that it doesn't matter how you're feeling. It doesn't matter how your day went. It doesn't matter what you want to do. When your husband is ready to have sex, it's time to have sex. Now, I personally was not raised super religious. I was not raised with that mindset. I was never taught that, my body essentially belongs to my husband once we get married. However, I do understand that for most men, sex is something that, they want and expect and need and desire on a regular basis. As their wife, as the one person who is supposed to be giving them said sex, it's your duty to be able to serve in that role, unless you want somebody else serving in that role, which I personally do not. However, I think that there has to be some sort of happy medium between both of these extremes. I do not subscribe to the theory that it don't matter what you want, it don't matter how you feel, it don't matter what type of day you had, it don't matter that you might be sick. It's time to have sex. Let's have sex. I do not subscribe to that barbaric way of thinking. Definitely not when you're calling me out of my name. And again, I know that was an extreme clip, but I think that it definitely does communicate what a lot of people believe is required when it comes to marriage. So I want to know from y'all, like, do you think, we know that sex is an expectation, but do you consider it to be a duty? And I'm really curious to hear from the guys, because I think this is one of those conversations that highlights that whole men are from Mars, women are from Venus thing. Like, we just be on two totally different pages. And a conversation that I've even had with my husband, has come to us talking about the fact that women don't always know or understand what men want and desire and value in relationships. We know what we want. I think the world a lot of times talks about what we want, but we don't really have a full understanding most of the time with what men want. And not only do we not have an understanding of it, usually when they tell us, we ain't trying to hear it. Instead of trying to listen for understanding, we usually are ready to have like a comeback for why we not gonna do that, why you should just be, willing to take what I'm giving you. And we try to give them what we want them to have versus giving them what they want. And so I want to know what y'all think. I definitely do not agree with Homeboy. I think he was a little extreme. I'm going to drop the link to the full episode below so that you can check it out and, kind of get a feel for what the context was. But I personally do not believe that women are just, women like don't have any rights. So let's see how the ladies took to his opinion. And again, fellas, I'm really curious to hear from you. Like, is this what y'all be thinking?
That's like a respect that a woman actually wants. There's a difference between what you want and what you need.
Worded it like that, bro.
That's a bit disrespectful for women.
Do you not think? Do you not?
I'm sure you can reword it.
Do you not think that sex is? Do you not? Okay. Do you think sex is a duty in marriage?
No, that's why I said they want the woman to satisfy his sexual pleasure.
Okay. So no, yes. What about yes? Because I would say, like, if he's marrying you, he's protecting and providing. Why would you not give him sex?
No, I'm not saying I'm not giving him sex. It's just like it shouldn't be a duty. It shouldn't be like
okay. If you don't, if you
I'll give it to you, but you can't force me.
But I want ownership. But see, that's like a lack of submission, though. Because if you're submissive, you just say, okay, yeah, whenever you want, because you're the man, you're in charge.
So what if like I also finished at work or everything like that, and he wants to have
Okay, do you show up to your job when you don't feel like it?
Sorry?
Do you show up to your job when you don't feel like it?
Yes.
Being a wife is a job. That's your job. Just do it even when you don't feel like it.
So may I ask the question then?
So again, Pearly has some very controversial opinions. She gets a lot of hate mail from women specifically about the things that she says on this show. Sometimes I'm with her. A lot of times it's based on data and statistics and all those types of things, but it doesn't really translate. It doesn't usually go over very well. The fact that she explained it and described it like, do you go to work when you don't feel like it? Well, this is your job, to serve your husband. I think that Black women, we just have a hard time hearing it put that way, because if you were to ask most of us, do you plan to give your husband sex on a regular basis? The answer would probably be yes. But I think the disconnect comes when it's like, I'm being forced to do something that maybe I don't feel like doing. I don't have a choice in the matter, especially coming from being like super independent women, which a lot of us were raised to be. It is a very challenging thought that we are no longer in control of our bodies, that our body literally belongs to our husband once we choose to get married. So again, I want to know what y'all think. Do you think that it is your duty to have sex with your husband whenever he wants? Forget how you feel. Forget what day of the week it is. Forget what type of day you might have had. Forget all of the other things, excuses, whatever. Do you think that you are obligated? Like, it's an obligation. It is a job. You do not have a choice in the matter when it comes to sex with your husband. Let me know in the comments and send me some more videos